The first of our catch-up games sees us welcome Tegevajaro for the fourth round of the Emperor's Cup here at the Sapporo Dome. Beautiful bullet header here from Kawasaki to get us off to a beautiful start. Fujita then plays it over to Suga on the left-hand side, who passes it across for Nakagawa to tap into the bottom right-hand corner. Lucas then becomes provider on the 85th minute. Kawasaki passing it back into Nakagawa, and what a beautiful 3-0 victory in this game. A game we was expected to win rather comfortably, and it ended up being in the end. In fact, we had 23 shots to their 2, 12 on target to their 2, a 1.49 xg to a 0.11, 6 corners to 1, 7 fouls to 26. Ill discipline really not helping them in this one. 0 yellow cards to 3 yellow cards, 89% passing to 64, 71% possession to 29. But how did we get on in that second game as we headed back into the league? A difficult tie against Cerezo Osaka was our second game, third in the league, looking to chase us and Yokohama, but 7 minutes in we went and crushed those dreams with a beautiful header. As you can see from the match statistics though, it was a rather 50-50 game, and the observant of you will have noticed on the bench we have some new acquisitions. First of all though, let's go through those match statistics. So 11 shots to 14, 3 on target to their 8, 1.33 to a 1.2, 9 corners to 6, 13 fouls to 15, 4 yellow cards to 3, 86% passing to 88, 52% possession to 48. I think this one was rather tough on Cerezo Osaka. Yes, they had more shots than us. We was a bit more wasteful, we had more possession, but this was very much a 50-50 game. It could have gone either way. We just managed to get a decisive goal in a decisive minute through Anderson Lopez on that 8th minute. But it is time, not for today's game, but to have a little look at those brand new transfers and some news. So I'll see you over at the transfer screen in just a second. Change your plan, ladies and gents. The notification screen is probably a better spot for us to head to next. That is because it actually transitions quite well over to the transfers, which you will notice in just a second. First of all, we have Kawasaki Frontier. They completed that signing of Arano. He's out the door for 569,000. He's gone, sorted, out the door. But the new addition who we did see over on the bench was Maru Ruoka, I should say. Mitsuru Maruroka made his debut on the 65th minute coming on, and well, Cerezo Osaka, the opponents for that game, is in fact his previous club, the last club he played for when he was here in Japan. So first of all, he's 25 years of age, valued at 350 grand, 4.6 thousand per week. Fringe player, 2.5 star, 3.5 star potential. He isn't great, but he adds plenty of depth in that central midfield role. Very much cover for Arano, who was sitting on our bench. He is a playmaker, so he can play in central attack, play there. He can even drop back to defensive mid, but I'd rather not. I'd rather just leave him in either of these, either as a playmaker in the central mid or going up to attacking mid-centre and just being a normal attacking midfielder. As you can see, nice, well-rounded stats. In terms of his history though, as you can see, he started off at Cerezo Osaka. He then went on loan to Dortmund's second team, was there for a couple of seasons before then moving up to the main team, playing one game, and then going back down to Dortmund's second team. He then returned back to Cerezo Osaka in 2016, played 3 games, went down to their under-23s, played 24 and scored twice. Not the most prolific scorer out there. Came back to their first team, played 4 games for them before going back to the under-23s, playing 5 games. Then he went out on loan, went to Nagasaki before going to Yamaguchi, then coming back to the under-23s for 21 games and 2 goals in 2019. He then got moved up to the first team where he didn't do anything. Don't know why they moved him up. But he then went on a free transfer over to Thailand, got 30 games last season, 4 assists, 1 player of the match and a 6.9, and then we snapped him up for a bargain of 275,000. This guy is not going to be playing many games, I'll be honest. He is squad depth, but He's not bad squad depth to have. So, he is through the door. That is our first acquisition. But, who are the others? Well, first of all, let's head on back to this screen. We have Miyazawa, who's set to make his appearance record. He's about to break the appearance record for our club. 416 league appearances have been made by him. The previous 415, so he's now got the record for that one. And 2 players have been called up for the Olympic squad. So, Olympic squad, as you'll see, Suga, I believe. Let's click. No, it's not telling us who. Suga got called up, and so did Fujita. And joining them is our new acquisitions. I had a look at the Olympic squad, and I decided, you know what, we're going to steal a bunch of players from the Olympic squad. So, in terms of our new acquisitions, we have 3 players through the door. We've already looked at our first one, but as you can see, the next 2 are a little bit more expensive. Both of these were in the Olympic squad. First of all is Kanye Fujimoto. Kanye Fujimoto, again, like our previous player, can play central midfield, or he can play in that central attacking mid role. He is probably going to be our replacement for Miyazawa going forward. Miyazawa is now 30 years of age. I'm not going to push him out the door. If he wants to stick around, he can stick around, but we need replacements for when he is dropping off, because he is going to drop off. He's old, he's going to get tired legs. I might start using him as more attacking mid-centre, but 22 years of age, capped at under 23 level, 3-star, 4.5 star potential, sorry. He is, he likes to dictate tempo, which is nice. Great vision, by the way, amazing vision. Composure, absolutely perfect. He can even play here on the right-hand wing as an inside forward, probably not as an inverted winger, rather have him as an inside forward, but I guess we can force him out here as a winger if we really need him over on that left-hand side. Very versatile, plays right across the attacking mid and that central midfield role. In terms of valuation, 1.1 million, 5.75 per week. He is a squad player, so he's going to be more on our bench. And in terms of history, well, he was at Tokyo Verde for pretty much his entire career before going to Gil Vicente in Liga NOS over in Portugal. 11 appearances, 2 assists, 1 player of the match and 6.8, and then we snapped him up for 950 grand. So those are the first 2 players through the door. But our star acquisition, the guy I expect to be the next Fujita, the next amazing player in the middle of the park, is going to be Shinta Appelkampi. Yes, I'm going to struggle with his name. Appelkamp is our man. 20 years of age, capped at under 23. 1.7 million valuation, 6 grand per week. Important player. 3-star. 3.5, possibly 4.5 star potential. He does have a bit less potential than the previous player, which does worry me personally as well, but he is more for that central attacking midfield role, so he's probably going to sit in front of Fujimoto more than actually battling it out for a spot. He doesn't have any player traits. He's not going to be very good in goal if we somehow need him in goal, but he's just a nice, well-rounded player. As you can see, he doesn't have any particular holes in his game. There's nothing you can look at and go, he sucks at that. But at the same time, he's just okay across the board, which is nice to see. Bit of versatility in there. In terms of him, well, he started off at Mitsubishi Yowa. He then went to Dusseldorf. Yes, Dusseldorf, over in Germany. Didn't play for them for 3 seasons. They dropped down to the Regional West, where he played 5 games. He then played 19 the season after, and that is where he started to kick off his career. 8 goals in those 19 appearances, went up to the Bundesliga, where he played for the main team. 17 appearances, 3 assists, 2 player of the matches and a 6.98. A player who can get a 6.98 in the Bundesliga should be pretty darn good in the J1 league. So 2.9 million, yes, a little bit more than he's actually valued at, but with that potential, he should be able to grow, develop, be an amazing player for the future. But that is it for our transfers. It is time to crack on with today's game. So I'll see you fine folks over at the dressing room in just a second. Okay everyone, game time is almost upon us. We are of course here in the dressing room for our game against Oita Trinita. The stadium has 14,799 in attendance out of a 40,000 capacity. Very good pitch condition. It's a breezy 28 degreesy, and well, they're suggesting we go from a positive to a balanced mentality. I think our assistant has actually lost the plot. Instead, we're going to apply the opposition instructions, completely ignore this. We're doing it our way. So, positive. This is our team for today. As you can see, we're going to have to give Fujimoto his squad number. Same with Apple Campy. I'm going to have to give him a different name. Apple Camp. I want to call him Campy. I don't know why. Appel Camp. He needs a new name. You know what? We're just going to call him the Apple Camp. Apple Camp. That makes it so much easier. So much easier for my tiny little brain to remember his name. So, you are Mr. Apple Camp. We have the Apple Camp. So, Apple Camp in central midfield. Don't have to worry about butchering his name now because he is the Apple Camp. So, our team for today. As you can see, Fukumori is missing out for the first time in absolutely ages. Our other new acquisition is also being rested. Ogashiwa is not playing, and Songkrazin still has a little bit of a knock. I would have squeezed him in, but today we are versing 19th in the league, a team that slipped down. I believe there was an 18th last time we looked, maybe 17th, so they've slipped into the relegation slots. A team we should be able to beat. And our team for today is Obi, a backline of Suga, Havania, Inukai and Yanagi. In central midfield we have Fujita and the Apple Camp. On the left hand side is Lucas. On the right is Kishimoto. Central attacking mid is Anderson Lopez and Nakagawa up front. A bench of Owaka, Hatsus, Kinmintai, Danzaki, Fujimoto, Miyazawa and Nakashima. If you're wondering why Owaka is starting on the bench, well, he is on there because Nakano has an 8-day to 2-week injury. Oh, and by the way, on the transfer screen, you might have noticed a bunch of players getting loaned out. A lot of them are just developmental loans. We shall be bringing them back. Don't worry about that. Bunch of 17, 18-year-olds who just need some game time. They hadn't been playing, so I pushed them out the door. And there is a few players in there who are a bit of deadwood, like Yoshi. I don't see Yoshi returning too much, but enough about that. We have a suspension for Komai, which is keeping him out. Nakano's injured, and Kawasaki is also suspended. So, let's crack on with this one. I've rambled enough. The Apple Camp should be number 24, and you shall be number 27, Mr. Fujimoto. Now, pleased to make his debut, so you should, my friend. It's going to be a fantastic debut. I can see you getting a goal on this debut. I believe in you, my friend. Come on, lads. Let's see if we keep our run of form going. I won't say keep it going, considering that disappointing draw. We got a few, in fact, the last episode, a few matches back, but in the previous episode. But Koid will throw it in for them. We are only 5 minutes into today's game. Suga nods it down. Lucas will collect it here in the centre circle, making a beautiful darting run. He's going across the pitch. Oh, he shot himself. That was greedy. You should have passed it, my friend, and instead the goalkeeper shall collect. As you can see, our opponents for the next 2 games, in fact, Vissel Kobe has currently gone 1-0 up. In our next match, we verse them in the Emperor's Cup, and then we have a league game against them straight after that. Fujita, though, will play it across to Suga. Hornetball nicely gets it to Fujita. Lucas has got the overlap in Suga if he wishes to use him. Instead, he's making cutting run, finally passes it over to Suga. Suga whips one in, and it's Nakagawa, near post. 30th goal of the season for Nakagawa. And we're only 10 minutes in, ladies and gents. It is nice and early, very nice and early. We are off to a great start. Can we get, I don't know, 4 or 5 goals? Would be nice. Build up a bit of goal difference, especially considering Yokohama F. Marinos aren't playing today. In fact, they play tomorrow. I believe it's against Kawasaki Frontale, so hopefully Arano can help Frontale get a victory in that one. Kawasaki, in fact, Yokohama, in fact, in their previous game, had a very rough time. They won 4-3 against Matsumoto Yamaga, which I'm surprised it went that deep. But on my rambling, the first half has disappeared beyond us. So, 16 shots to their 0. 6 on target to 0. 2.4 XG to, yes, 0. 5 corners to 0. 5 fouls to 6. 3 yellow cards to 1. 90% passing to 75, 65% possession to 35. Time to head on into the dressing room. Tell the lads that we are pleased with how things are going, although it could be going a lot better. We're versing 19th in the league. Yes, we are trying to integrate a couple of players, but need a little bit more from these guys. Need a little bit more. Apple Camp on a 7.2 is not too shabby though. We are up to the 63rd minute where we, of course, are going to make some substitutions. Especially considering, like I said, we've got Vissel Kobe in the next couple of games. Miyazawa can come on here. You know what? Let's just take off our yellow carded players. Let's just not risk any of these guys getting sent off. Fujimoto can drop there. Apple Camp, can you do defensive duties? Can we put you on defensive duties? Ball winning, defense. You know what? Yeah. He's nice and well rounded. So we'll do it that way. Then Fujimoto can play in his desired role. And we can hopefully get a second goal. Seal this victory beyond any doubt. Stop them getting a scrappy late goal and tying things up. Hatsus will throw it into Miyazawa. Miyazawa is broken in half. And that is a red card for Wu J. Wu J. You really shouldn't have dived in like that. Vissel Kobe, by the way, 4-0 in their game, including an own goal for Morishita from S Pulse. We are into the final minute of today's game, though. Hatsus will throw it in here on the right-hand side. What will he do? He tries to throw it deep. It's nodded away, and Kanye will collect. Kanye gets it over to Suga. Oh, what a beautiful goal from Suga. Drills it, bottom left corner. Second goal of the season, I believe that was. And he has just put the cherry on the cake. Beautiful finish, bottom left-hand corner. Nobody was stopping that one. I was thrown off by the fact that we've got Kanye on the pitch instead of it saying his actual last name. But we'll take it. Kanye's nice and easy to say, and we'll definitely take that second goal from Suga. An 8.6 from him, by the way, gets him the best performer. We had 24 shots. They finally got some with 2 in the end. 11 on target to their 0, a 2.7 XG to a 0.09, 8 corners to 1, 9 fouls to 13, 4 yellow cards to 2, 87% passing to 80, 59% possession to 41. That's it's told, lads. Well done. Good job. Especially you, Apple Camp. You came and had a very good debut. And heck, even our other debutant in Fujimoto, otherwise known as just Kanye, had a very good game. So, we are nice and solidly top of the table. 4-point gap and 8 goal difference on Marinos. But they, of course, have that game in hand. We are miles away from Cerezo Osaka. So it's definitely a 2-horse race between us and Yokohama going into the back end of the season. We've, of course, played 25 games of this 38-game season. 13 games remain. And we have 20-point gap on Antlers now, because Cerezo Osaka has fallen even further. Kashima Antlers winning 3-1 against Hiroshima. Did they lose then? No, Cerezo Osaka 2-0. So they must have slipped up prior, or Antlers had games in hand. I don't know. I really don't know. All I know is we have a nice 20-point gap on third place. Us and Marinos are battling it out for those top 2 spots. Next game, though, is in 8 days' time. It's in the Emperor's Cup. It's the 5th round. And I think we're going to have a little look at that one. See how our newbies get on. Thomas Vermaelen is going to miss it, though, with his twisted ankle. I want to say knee. Don't know why I want to say knee, but they have plenty of deadly players in their lineup for us to have to deal with. Lincoln scoring in his previous game. Iniesta's still there, even at 37 years of age. They've got Watanabe, who's a decent player as well. And yeah, they've got plenty of firepower to cause us issues, especially considering these past couple of episodes we've struggled against teams we probably should have comfortably beaten. But I thank you all for joining us. I hope you all have a lovely night, and goodbye.